She's doing my head in. She's going on as if it's a nightclub we're going to or something. Her and Kaylee are always the same. I mean, what's the point in getting all dressed up when there's bound to be a massive fight and someone's bound to spill a WKD all over your dress? And that leaves me in a bit of a dilemma really, because I mean, I've got 2 proper nice designer black dresses, but they're the only black clothes that I've got. I mean, I'm not a goth, do you know what I mean? And it seemed inappropriate to wear a little black dress to a funeral, doesn't it? But our Sharon, she wears those women trouser suits to her office job and we're the same size, so I guess I could borrow one of those off her. I'm not really sure I'll be going anyway though. But Gibril, well, he was my best mate's cousin and it seems disrespectful to the family if I don't go and show me face. I can't tell Leo though, he would go ape if he knew. Not that I'm still with Leo or anything, because he's probably going to get life and I can't promise that I'll be waiting for him when he gets outside. We'll be in our 30s by then and women that want to be mums someday, well, they've only got a certain amount of time, haven't they? And I've only been meeting them for 11 months anyway. But it's like I've known them all my life. When we were kids, it was like one big gang. Well, it was 2 actually. There was a girl gang and there was a boy gang, and you could have had boy mates then and no one would have accused you of fancying them. Believe it or not, Gibril and Leo used to be best mates. You never would have thought they would have ended up hating each other. Something to do with a game of footy or something, Leo said. You know, the fight. But I wasn't really listening because I was too busy watching America's Hottest Dancers on YouTube. I mean, it's boring though, isn't it? Imagine if girls wanted to fight to the death just because someone says something that we don't like. I mean, why do boys have to go on? Like everyone's out to get them. And Leo's always been more paranoid than most. He even admits it. He's got anger management problems. That's why he needs me, he reckons. You're my ref. That's what he always used to say to me. And I must admit, I have had to throw the towel in a couple of times when he's nearly come to blows with somebody. I didn't get the chance the day that it happened then. I don't really want to be someone's ref anyway. I'd rather be that sexy girl stood in the bikini in between the rounds. The ref, well, he's always the big sweaty, fat, horrible guy, isn't he? And I know this right well, because my dad, he used to be a boxer. And what did he try and get a job as once his belly went out of proportion? A referee. Couldn't drag himself long enough away from Top Gear though, could he, eh? I know exactly what he'd say about this. Whatever happened to a good old fist fight, or it takes a real man. It takes a real man to know how to fight without wanting to kill someone. But I don't really think Leo wanted to kill someone. He's not a killer, it's just his temper, well, it's like a pit bull and it locks on and then he can't shake it off. I mean, if you knew the life he had, you wouldn't even judge him. He grew up with his auntie and uncle, and they were both nasty pieces of work. It was a shouty house, you know, the ones where there's no peace. That's why I feel sorry for him. They're a violent family, they are. They've got a reputation for it. Their Vinny's inside for armed robbery on the Perry. 12 years or something he got for that. But Leo still thinks the sun shines out of Vinny's backside though, doesn't he, eh? Wouldn't surprise me if they ended up in the same prison. God, I just don't want to think about it. We were supposed to be moving to London together when I finished my exams. We had this big idea of setting up our own company, Rhythm and Bass. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not dreamers. I was going to go to dance school for 3 years, and he said he was willing to start from the bottom, you know, working in a recording studio like P. Diddy did, serving coffee and stuff like that. Well, until someone realised he was a musical genius. Rhythm and Bass dance music services. Can't see that happening now, though. I mean, we'll always be friends, and don't get me wrong, I'll always visit him for as long as I'm in Liverpool, but when I move down south, I'll have to get my head into studying. Laura reckons I'll be running off with some city millionaire. But I keep telling her, it's not about the men. She reckons I go for Londoners just because I go for drives with Jerry the Jamaican Cockney, I don't know. Well, he's got money, but he's certainly no millionaire. He works for a credit card company. He's been messaging me today, actually, asking me if I'm free tomorrow. Of all days. Laura reckons there's going to be beef with Mara Dench. That's Gibril's girl. Well, she was. She's one of those over-possessive types, you know. Not very friendly to anyone in the real world. But being popular on Facebook's good enough for her. Especially with the men. Even though all of her clothes are from the sale rail in Primani. You shouldn't really put photos of yourself up there online, should you? The skank. I mean, I'm not being bitchy, but the girl, she's got no pride, and if she didn't have it in for me, I wouldn't even be talking about her right now. At first I thought it was because she used to be into Leo, back when me and Leo were just mates, but I guess she's just one of those girls that doesn't like other popular girls. I reckon she wants every man in the area to be into her. But she needs to keep her man on a leash because he's been scanning me so hard since last summer that all of my mates have been calling him laser eyes. Then some idiot had to go and mention it to Leo. And he started asking me when was the last time I'd seen Gibril and weird stuff like that. And before you know it, he's punching the wall and saying that he hated him. I told him he could keep his enemies to himself and don't be blaming me for your beef with other people. And I said, I'm not some kind of floozy, so don't be treating me like that. I mean, if I was like that, I'd be out there flaunting it right now, wouldn't I? So what if I was saw talking to him outside the Ronsons market? No need for everyone to get all suspicious. Gibril and Mara have never been a faithful couple anyway. I heard they used to call it the internet because every man under the age of 25 was on it. Don't hate. It's not my joke. She's been giving me pure daggers before Gibril and Leo even started fighting. I called her a cheeky... Oh, anyway, let's just forget about her. When I think about it, it must have been horrible for her to see what happened to her man right in front of her face. I mean, if I could go back, I obviously would have tried to have grabbed hold of Leo and talk some sense into him, but it all happened so fast, and the girls who dragged me out of the way saying it was the man's business, and I was confused. I mean, when something like that happens, you never expect it. I mean, it doesn't matter how much people threaten each other or what you see on the news. I mean, I know bad things like that happen every day all over the world, but when you actually see someone collapse and die, well, it does something to you. It makes you feel sick inside, sort of emotionally. And I know it's a feeling I'll never forget. I mean, I know Leo didn't mean it, and I'll always have love and understanding for him, but last time I spoke to him on the phone, well, that feeling, that sickly feeling, well, it came back. And I get it every time I think or talk about him, and every time someone mentions his name. And I know it sounds bad, but there's a part of me that doesn't want to see him again. I mean, there's more to life than violence and arguments. Things like that. Well, they just make me want to run away. As far as possible. Gorgeous.